So page 222. We'll do with piano first, and then later maybe we can try a cappella. So za 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 or ze ze ze, whatever is comfortable.
It's like a masterpiece. You know, Ravel wrote almost no choral music, and I think you can write the text to these. One thing I really like is your face. There's a singing technique of smiling with your eyes, which makes you have a long tone, which is really the best way you can get resonance. And you're doing that, and I think that's something that I want to do. It just somehow gets more lift sound out of the course. You seem to really know the score. Again, it's the tuning issues of it. Because I'm a composer, it's like really important to note this piece is in A minor. It starts in Dorian, then it modulates. You have like there's some tricky things where it has the Phrygian B flat, and it's good to know all that stuff and actually make the singers aware of the character of those notes because they all mean something. But I think that you in general, you have an alert posture. Notice his beat's a little higher, and it seems to work fine. A lot of organists, for some reason, there's the whole British school, they tend to do this a lot. I don't know why, and it makes the singing often not good. But you seem, your beat is a little higher, but you seem connected to your breath. And that thing about your facial expression, I don't know if that's something you're just doing without thinking, but see what I mean? Just smile with the eyes. Smile with the eyes. It's a trick. It just works to get everyone. There's an embouchure in singing, just like if you're a clarinetist or a trumpet player, you work on your embouchure. I think there's a singing embouchure too, which has to do with length, getting length into the vowels and aligning. I just say quickly that a little of my own biography is that my mom sang with Robert Shaw for 6 years in the Cleveland Orchestra Chorus. So when I was a little boy, she took me to rehearsals, and James Levine was the accompanist. And the thing I remember Shaw said, and I don't know if it's something people, you know Robert Shaw was probably, he said the basic principle of choral singing is to time every consonant and tune every vowel. And so I think your facial expression is getting them to think vertically, which is good.
Thank you.
Thank you. so what's hard, like rehearsal 3 is where it gets a little, more chromatic, and there's some, the tenors have the melody, and it's not the greatest register for the tenors. It's like the viola A string, C, G string. Maybe if you have, if I personally would say maybe both for them to get to know the piece better is to do 3 at the end.
Sure. Page 225, the last system service. So can I just have tenors? That's B flat, not B major, right? Let's pick just tenor. Yes, with bass.
That's great. Since we have so little time, the movable do solfege with the la bass minor, which is Godai, and this is a huge can of worms, is the singer's fingering. And in this passage for the bass, la, si, sol, fi, fa, mi, re, re, di, do, ti, te, la. That, and when you're teaching this piece to singers, if you do that with them, they will sing it in tune. The thing is, the piano is not in tune.
Yeah.
Meaning it's equal tempered instrument, but and so that's where this is a piece where the application of solfege is actually it's applicable for everything, and the whole culture is very confused about it and about fixed do and movable and numbers and letter names. It's one of the areas of my great interest. I've studied it very deeply, but right away I can tell you that applying it to this passage will clean. It's like putting Windex on a dirty window, because the basses really don't have, and it's not easy. You don't have the pitches in your bodies completely, and calling them a name, it's like I said, singers have no fret, they have no key, they have nothing, right? And so this is where the solfege gives you the connection with the character of the note by calling it the same thing every time. And again, you seem to really know the score. What I would even consider, or even having the whole room, that's the other thing, is the conductor's chief job, as my teacher Nadia Boulanger said, is to make the players and singers aware of each other's parts. So another thing is to keep everyone's minds active in a rehearsal is to have everyone singing everyone's parts. So right now, one of the hardest parts is the bass part. So if everyone does that solfege exercise I just talked about, singing a chromatic scale, and then everyone sings that bass line, everyone's perception of the music and the character of the pitches that Ravel chose becomes remarkably sharpened. And so that's another thing about choral conducting, is that it's part of it is how you teach music is a big part of it. You actually have to teach singers much more even than an orchestra. Because when people are always saying, oh yeah, choral conductors aren't, they actually have highly specialized knowledge just as deep as the orchestral conductor. But it has a lot to do with pedagogy and learning, and how singers learn parts, and about what key things are in, and how to tune, and whether it's chromatic and all that stuff. This is such a great piece. I know we have to move on.
I think we have a couple of minutes.
You have
Brandon?
2.5 minutes.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Tell me, Tram. I don't know what the school. I think USC uses. They know all the methods, and I don't know if you learn Kodai.
Kodai not so much, right? In theory, but la bass minor, movable do. I love that idea of singing the chromatic scale. If you would like everybody to try it and then rehearse that bass
And
line.
do you understand what I'm saying about, enough about how the method works?
Not totally, but yeah.
Yeah.
So should we just all sing in a bass line using?
So, here's the thing is that, diatonis is in the structural, chromo means color, right, in Greek. So the first thing is to sing that, and descending scales are hard. That's where everyone goes flat. La, sol, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la. So you sing that first, and then you fill it. La, si, sol, fi, do exercises where you write the notes and all the syllable names and point with your finger so that people eventually learn them. But I don't know how many of you are following. You could all probably sing the melodic descending scale, right? You understand that much about solfege? La, sol, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la. I would do that first.
So
Have them do that
diatonic, right? Diatonic first.
Yeah, that's just the 7 notes of the scale. La, sol, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la.
Is that chromatic scale?
C, yes. La, si, sol, fi, fa, mi, re, do, ti, te, la. Again, we are in a cultural confusion here, but like, is it the 4th scale degree is the leading tone of the dominant, which is why it's usually both raised going up and down. So this is all this stuff about theory that you can get nerded out on. But as a choral conductor, you're the one teaching. It's an incredibly powerful teaching tool. And right away, I heard a certain vitality in the tone. Think how old these syllables are. They go back to Guido of Arezzo, 12th century. And the hand symbols, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, now having done that, here's the test. If you have a little more time, is si, sol, fi, fa, re, mi, re, mi. Whether it helps you.
Yes.
I think it'll take some time, but it definitely would help you. And can I say one last thing? It's like the difference between tracing a picture of a cathedral, which is the pianist playing it and you doing it by rote memory, which is how most of us learn a lot. It's how we learn to talk. But applying the syllable names is actually drawing freehand. And artists draw freehand. Tracing is a valuable tool. It's a learner, but it's not really drawing. So getting the notes from the piano is kind of like tracing. And you may have it like one day and then the next day you come back and it's out of tune again. If you sing it with the syllables, it tends to stay forever, actually.
Thank you for those wonderful ideas. So
you're
Mom's
welcome.
gonna do this one more time after today. So maybe we can apply some of those
In
concepts
rehearsal
to the
round?
rehearsal round.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Don't
thank
be
you.
afraid of, the thing about solfege is people don't know what key things are in, and so unless you know what to call anything. And so that's why every choral conductor is understandably are afraid to use it.
Thank you, So-Mang.
Thank you, Paul.